welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I wanted to do something special for my mom in honor of Mother's Day. So Mother's Day just passed. I decided to give my mom a mini makeover. You guys, my mom is turning 74 this year and she does not look a day over 50. So I felt like I just wanted to do something fun for my mother. So let's go see how I started this makeover for her. My mom has been bugging me to retouch her roots. Her grays are coming in, so the first thing that I did was I worked on her roots. So I mixed some 3N from Joico and I mixed that with 20 volume developer to touch up her roots. So first things first, I have to drape my mom to protect her skin and her clothing from any chemical that may come into contact with her. So I always put a cape on. And then I went ahead and I pre-sectioned her hair into 4 quadrants, 2 in the front and 2 in the back. And I like to start off with the first front quadrant. When applying any kind of color to cover up any grays, you want to start at the front because that is basically where you see most of the grays. So I'm starting off at the front, and what I like to do is I like to just cover that perimeter of the first section and just apply the color all around, and especially covering that front hairline. If she was ever to pull her hair up, you won't see any kind of grays around her face, so making sure to saturate that front hairline of hers. And then once I have the perimeter all nice and saturated with the color, I'm going to go ahead and start off by slicing some thin sections and applying the dye from base to where the regrowth starts. So I'm basically doing that with each section that I slice, making sure to do both sides of that thin section. So one on the top and then on the bottom, so that each sides are all saturated. And again, once I reach to the bottom layer close to the hairline, I'm going to go ahead with the color and just apply it around the hairline just so that I know that it has been fully covered. Because you know my mama don't like no gray showing on her hair. She's going to come after me if I leave a little bit of gray spots on there. So I gotta make sure it's all covered. So I'm basically going to repeat that for the other 3 sections left over. Once I finish applying all the color on all the hair, I'm going to let that process for 45 minutes. So after having it processed for 45 minutes, I washed her out and I gave her a quick blow dry. And this is what her hair looks like now. It's nice and fresh. You don't see any grays anywhere. And now I'm going to give my mom some highlights. She's been bugging me to get some highlights, so I decided to use the cap method on her hair. I haven't really done this before. I think the last time I've ever done this was way back when I was a teenager and I did it on myself. So I wanted to come back and try it again on her. So to do this, I had to make sure to brush all of her hair back, away from her face. And with her head tilted back, I placed that cap right on her head and then just tied everything under her chin to make sure the cap does not go anywhere. And of course, do not forget the draping. You can either use a cape or a towel. Since I do hair, I have some capes available. So that's what I'm doing to protect my mother's epidermis. And now with these caps, when you first get them, you have to pre-poke the holes there because it's not fully poked through. You have the holes, but inside there is another layer of plastic that you gotta poke through. I did previously poke some holes through it, but there were some that I missed. So you gotta be careful to do that because spots that I missed, I kind of poked my mom's head and she was still like, ow, ow, my head. So make sure to pre-poke those holes before you put them on someone's head. So I'm basically just taking the hair out through the holes that have that ring around it. I'm not going through every single hole because my mom does not want to have too much highlights on her hair. So I'm sticking to the holes with the blue rings, and that's the only section that I'll be pulling the hairs out. So once I completed pulling out her hair, I just kind of went through it with a comb just to make sure that there were no knots and tangles and that everything was pulled out nicely. And I went ahead and I applied my lightener. So I started off at the ends and worked my way up. I'm trying to achieve somewhat of a balayage look with the highlights, where it's a little bit brighter in the ends and it just kind of tapers to lighter strands on top. So I worked with the ends first, and then I went in and I applied the rest to the top half of the strands. And after, I just took a plastic shower cap and placed that on top of the highlights, just so that the hair can nicely develop under the natural warmth of her scalp, natural warmth from her head. So heat will help kind of process it faster, and it will also help the lightener from not drying out, because once the lightener dries out, it's just gonna stop processing. So I want to keep it nice and moist. I basically left the lightener on her hair until her hair reached that level of lightness that she was comfortable with, so probably around a level 7. She didn't want it too bright or anything like that. She just wanted some sun-kissed highlights on her hair. So I left it on until it was about level 7. I think it was about like an hour or so. But you know, it all depends on how light you want it. Just monitor it, take a strand, and then if you pull it and you know the elasticity of your hair is still pretty strong, then you're still good to go. But if you feel like your hair is snapping, it's time to wash that out. So I thought that I recorded the part where I was pulling the cap off of my mom's hair, but the camera was not recording, so I missed that part. So what you are seeing here is her hair already pulled out of the cap. It was kind of satisfying, and I wish I did record it, but I didn't want to do it again. So you guys probably seen other videos like this, you know what it looks like, but this is what my mom's hair looks like after I took the cap off. You can see the placement of the highlights. It's all nicely washed already. I basically just blow dried her hair. It's late at night, so I didn't finish this whole makeover all in one day. I continued the next day. So I just got my mom to blow dry her hair, and then we came back the next day to complete the process. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm toning her hair. She didn't like how bright the blonde was, and it was still a little bit on that brassy side. So I went in and I toned it with a 7WB, I believe, if I am not mistaken. If I made a mistake, you'll see it on the screen, obviously. So that would be warm blonde or beige blonde. I'm not entirely sure, but I use that with a 10 volume developer. I basically just took layers of her hair and I just kind of applied it to where the highlights are. I'm not applying it to her whole entire head. Toner is only meant to deposit color. It's not meant to lift it, so it's okay for me to apply it on the other parts of her hair that don't have the lightener, because it's not going to do anything. The other parts of her hair is dark, so it's not going to lighten it. It's just going to tone wherever that blonde is. So remember guys, toner does not lift color, it only deposits. So after applying the tone to her hair, I left that on for about 30 minutes. Always read the manufacturer label, so I left that on. So while it's processing, I decided to start on with her makeup. I started off with moisturizing her face with the St. Ives Renewing Face Moisturizer. So I applied that all over her skin with my concealer brush. And then I went in with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. For foundation, I use the Maybelline Fit Me Hydrate and Smooth Foundation. And with my flat foundation brush, I just went in and blended that all into her skin till it was nice and flawless. And to conceal my mama's under eyes, I went in with the Maybelline concealer. Just applied that right underneath her eyes, as we all do our concealer. And then I went in and blended that right in. And to set her face, I used the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in medium deep. Look how flawless my mama's skin is looking. Does she look 74? I don't think so. Or maybe. Just kidding, mom. After I set her face, I went in with the Tarteist Pro Glow palette, and I took this shade right here to contour her face. And for the blush, I took the Anastasia Beverly Hills blush kit with this lovely blush shade right here. And you guys know I applied that to my mama's cheeks. Look how happy she looks. She's loving the makeover. Just loving it. And back to that Tarteist Pro Glow palette, I'm taking this highlight shade right here, and I'm just gonna apply that to give her that nice, lovely glow. But she doesn't really need it because she already has that natural glow. But I'm just enhancing it for today. So there you go, mother. Now it's time for them brows. For her brows, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyebrow pencil. And of course, I'm gonna line her mustache, eyebrows with it. And you see how much of a difference that makes her. Normally my mom does not do her eyebrows this way. She just draws a little line. But I wanted to try to kind of change it up a little bit. So, you know, her eyebrows look a little bit more natural this time. For eyeshadow, I'm gonna use this Crown palette with this lovely shade here. And I'm going to apply that on her lids and kind of focusing towards her crease. My mom has more of a monolid style eyelid where she doesn't really have a crease when it's open, so I'm just bringing it above that crease socket, if that makes sense. And I took a darker shade from that same palette, which I didn't show here, and I just kind of applied that a little bit underneath that lighter transition shade. So I use a lighter shade just to kind of add as a transition, and then this darker shade is going to kind of make the eye pop a little bit more. So I'm just blending the two together, and then with that same darker shade, I'm applying that to her lower lash line to just make that eye look alive and full and bright and big like mine. Now for her eyelashes, I'm just going to be taking my Marc Jacobs mascara and of course applying that to her eyebrows. Eyelashes. I don't know why I have to explain myself because we all know mascara goes on eyelashes. I thought I did take a video of what lashes that I'm using on her, but it didn't show here for some reason. So I think it's Lily lashes that I'm putting on. I'm not sure the style, but if anything, they would be in the description if you guys are wondering what lashes I use on my mama. And now with that same Crown palette, I'm just gonna take this darker shade right here and I'm gonna apply that to the outer corners of her eye just to give it more of a pop. I want my mom's eye to literally pop because, you know, it's all about them eyes today. Taking that same highlight that I used on her face, I used a little eyeshadow brush and I'm just going to apply that right in her inner corner to just intensify the pop. Is pop even the right word that I'm trying to use here to describe what I want my mom's eye to look like? I'm not a total makeup person, but y'all know what I mean. For her lips, I'm taking this Annabelle lip liner. I'm just gonna outline her lips just to make them a little bit fuller. And then to fill her lips, I'm taking this Anastasia Beverly Hills lip gloss, and yeah, I'm giving her them sexy pouty lips. You know, it'll be fresh for her to kiss on I don't know who. And to finish off her makeup look, I'm taking the Cover FX illuminating setting spray and just spraying that over her face so that her makeup can last until the next day, because I'm basically putting it on at night and she's about to go to bed, so I told her you better sleep with it on. So my mom's makeup is done now and it's time for her hair. So to style her hair, I'm gonna take a bit of this Got To Be Mind Blowing mousse, and I'm just gonna run my fingers all over her hair just to give her hair a little bit of texture, a little bit of grit, so that she has a little bit of volume when I'm working with it. And then I'm going to just quickly blow dry her hair with 9-row brush. After blow drying her hair, I'm now taking this Tresemme Make Waves spray, and I'm gonna spray that all over her hair, and this just helps the curls kind of set in when I do the curls on her hair. But first things first, I'm just gonna section her hair like so. And for the bottom half of her hair, since it's a little bit shorter, at the back, I'm just taking my flat iron and I'm smoothing that back section in and just kind of giving it a bevel underneath. And then going towards the sides here, that's when I'm gonna start my little curls. So I'm using a straightener here at first, and then once I finish this layer, I'm gonna move on into my Marcel curling iron. So I'm basically going to be curling all of her hair like this away from her face until I reach the top. Then I'll start alternating the direction of the curls. It's just my preference of how I want my mom's hair to look. So there's no really right or way to curl your hair. If you want it away and towards your face, you can alternate it, or you can have it all in one direction. It all depends on the kind of look that you're going for. This time around, I'm just kind of going for more of a natural looking wave because my mom never curls her hair. She always just kind of gives her hair like a nice, smooth, voluminous hairstyle. So I wanted to do something different that she normally doesn't do, which is curl her hair. So after finish with curling her hair, I'm taking this Joico Body Shake Texturizing Finisher, and I'm gonna add some texture to her hair and spraying that right on top of the roots, so the base of her roots. This is just gonna give her hair a little bit of lift and a little bit of volume, so I like to spray that. And after I finish spraying it, I kind of rub my fingers through it just to kind of disperse it a little bit more and just give her that little tousled look. And to finish off her look, just taking this setting hairspray. Any hairspray you can use to set the hair when you know that you're finished with the style. Use one of those finishing hairsprays, so I'm using this one right here. I just sprayed it around her hair, and then I'm just running my fingers just to kind of give it that style that I'm kind of looking for. So, you know, I'm loosening up some of the curls that I did, and I might take a curling iron and just kind of finish any pieces of hair that you see kind of sticking out here. And once that style is done, this is my mama's makeover review. Mama's looking so fresh, so fine, looking for a man to call her mine. Just kidding. I don't know. She might be, but I don't know. But anyways, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little makeover that I did for my mama. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And also check me out on Instagram at Sharee.dawn and Glam Star Artistry. And that is it for this video. Thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!